What's up, all you lovely internet movie fans, and welcome back to Caped Commentary. Happy Tuesday. I'm, of course, your host, Austin Johnson, and I have a packed show today full of movie news to discuss and dive into with you guys. Jason Momoa is talking about Lobo and his future in the DC universe. And speaking of DC, did James Gunn just tease a potential founder of the Justice League of America potentially coming up in one of his films? I think he may have, and it's not in a way that you would think. In some Marvel news, sadly, it looks like we may not be getting trailers for either Spider Man or Avengers Doomsday at the Super Bowl. And I'm here to tell you that may not necessarily be a bad thing and the reason why it might not be happening. Then we have our Wonder Man review, a show that I absolutely love. And they're also going to dive into some other stuff around some movies I've seen recently and a whole slew of other news. Thank you for tuning in today, and let's dive into all the lovely movie news that we have for you guys today. First, get started with this. So, 28 years later, The Bone Temple, a movie that I enjoyed, came out last month. And there's a very interesting and funny moment that happened on the red carpet with Ray Fiennes, and he might have actually teased a potential successor for Voldemort in the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. So, in this interview, he's talking with the reporter, and he starts to say, "Oh yeah, I've heard they've cast Killian. I think he's going to do a great job in it. I mean, I think they've cast him. I've heard that. Wait, I don't know. Did I just say something I shouldn't have?" And then he starts to get visibly uncomfortable, and it's a hilarious overall clip that I absolutely love too because Ray Fiennes is such a talented actor. He is wonderful in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. He has a awesome, very metal on the nose scene like towards the end that he just rocks out. I love that scene. So if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, go watch that movie. He's phenomenal in a movie that I think is pretty good. But this interaction is very revealing because for a while now, it's kind of been speculated, and there's been reports out there that Killian Murphy is going to be the successor to Ray Fiennes and play Voldemort in the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series, a series that I am extremely excited for because of the amount of time they've put into cast this film, or this series, I should say, is you don't realize how long and how much effort has gone into it. I think this series is going to be great, and it's really going to give the audience and us a chance to live with these characters for multiple seasons at a time to really dive into the books for 10 episodes a season. I love that. And one of the most pivotal characters along, like, besides the big three and then like Dumbledore and a few others, is Voldemort. You have to nail Voldemort. You have to know who Voldemort is because Ray Fiennes killed it as Voldemort in all those movies. He might have said that Killian Murphy, a guy who I love. I am a huge Cillian Murphy fan. I mean, he's an Oscar winner as of recently for Oppenheimer, which he was phenomenal in. If he's the successor to Ray Fiennes, because spoiler alert for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Yep, you've been warned. He's in that movie. He makes an appearance at the end of that film, and if you know, he was in the original 28 Years Later, and so it's a really cool callback that he's going to be like continuing on in that franchise in its next iteration for the next film. But if you think about what Ray said, this could make a lot of sense because Ray is not some like untrained person. He is a world-renowned actor, probably one of the best out there without an Academy Award, and he knows press youngness. He knows how to handle them. So on the red carpet, I think there's two possibilities. One, he had heard that Killian is going to be confirmed. He probably talked to Killian on the set of Bone Temple, and they had a conversation. So he's like, "Oh, Killian's talking about it. He knows about it. Everyone must know about it. It's supposed to be some common knowledge." And so he brought it up, and in a little oopsie moment, kind of let it slip because reporters were like, "Whoa, wait a minute, that is not like anywhere near like confirmed or there's been speculation, but nothing around that." That's one option. Option two is he's just advocating for someone that he's a real big fan of. I mean, I love Killian, and I think Ray probably does too. He's very fond of him because they're British actors, and like so that could be. I don't think it's like the option. I think it is that he talked to Killian, and they had a conversation about the character, and Ray was like, "Yeah, you have like my blessings, did all of that. Yeah, here's how I kind of did the character. Here's how I dipped into Voldemort, the lore behind it, and what I brought out. And here's like, and Killian probably they had a brief conversation, and I think that's what happened. I think he inadvertently confirmed who Voldemort's going to be, and I think in the coming weeks to months that we will find out that Cillian Murphy has been cast as Voldemort in the Harry Potter series, and we're all gonna be better for it because he's such a talented actor and bringing that character into that series. Whew, icing on the cake of a series that I am extremely confident in because not just like the cast and like everything that's gone into like the research for this and like the subject matter, but it's HBO prime time. I trust whatever HBO is doing. I mean, the pit right now is phenomenal. It's awesome. So This is very interesting news, and let me know what you guys think. Do you think he inadvertently confirmed something? Did he talk with Killian maybe on the set of Bone Temple, or is it like kind of like a slip of the tongue? He didn't mean to, or he's advocating for a friend that he was just in a movie with. Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts and comments down below on this. All right. So, talking of the cinema, speaking and staying in that realm, recently I just saw Send Help, a movie starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien from director Sam Raimi, who I love. I'm a big fan of the cast, I'm a big fan of the director, so I went into this movie with pretty lofty expectations in terms of I hope to be entertained, enjoyed. I like the trailers a lot, and it delivered. It lived up to what I wanted it to be. This movie is a lot of fun. It's kind of what you expect from the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you know the tone and the overarching what you're going to get from this movie, and I enjoyed all of it. I mean, just imagine being like stuck on an island after crash landing from a plane with your boss or any type of coworker who you just genuinely despise. You know they're just not a good person. They have this terrible mindset way of thinking, and they've just belittled you. They passed you over, and now you're alone with them on an island. How would you treat them? What would you do? And that's exactly what this film is. Rachel McAdams. She's stuck there with this terrible boss and Dylan O'Brien. He's helpless. He's like, they're coming for me. Hey, go do this, go do this. And she's the survivalist. She actually knows how to survive. He is clueless. He's helpless. And there's so much just shit unfolds. And it's a very funny because there's a certain twist that kind of happens within the movie too that I didn't see coming. I was like, oh, well, because she found that explains so many things and answers a lot of questions that I kind of had lingering throughout the film. It's violent. There is one scene where I'm like, is she like okay, I'm just gonna say this. Spoiler alert. Is she cutting off his coconuts? Like, I was worried in the theater for a brief second, but it's a fun time. Like I said, the twist at the end is I did not see it coming, but it kind of answered a lot of like certain questions and explained a lot of the movie. I enjoyed it. I would go back and watch this movie again. I think people will enjoy this movie, and especially I said, if there's that person that you just hate and despise at work, put yourself in their situation now in that movie, you would probably have a lot of the same reactions and validations and treat them the same way. So go see Sin Help. I think it's a very good movie and you will enjoy it if you like Sam Raimi. And if you've seen a trailer and you enjoy it, it's worth the watch. I will say that. So go see that movie and let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you have seen it or if you haven't seen it, do you want to go see it now? And let's kind of dive into the realm of superheroes. And so first off, we're going to switch and pivot into the realm of DC. Jason Momoa was recently talking about his future as Lobo, and he said he knows nothing beyond the one film that he is upcoming in, which is Supergirl. I'm so excited to see Lobo in Supergirl. His look, it looks phenomenal. It's so accurate, and there's been some just like weird conversations online about, oh, he looks like a man cosplaying as Lobo. I'm like, no, he looks like Lobo. He looks like the Zarnian that is Lobo. Like the skin, the look, the tone, everything about it. He has the hook. I'm excited to see him in this film. And so, putting that aside, him talking about his future and saying, I don't really know what's the future for Lobo is beyond this one film makes sense because I think James Gunn and Peter Safran, they probably have plans for Lobo beyond this one film. They probably just haven't told Jason Momoa about it yet. They want to see how he does in this film, though the reception is, but they probably have a general idea of where they want to go with the character of Lobo because Lobo is not going to be like killed off or like whisked away in this film for two reasons. First off, Jason Momoa is born to play Lobo, and when he was cast as him and he had that meeting with Gunn, he was like beaming coming out of the meeting. He's like, I just had the best talk for a character. Like everyone knew it was Lobo, and he fits Lobo to a T. He's perfect. And two, Lobo can't die. He's a Zarnian. That's what his race of like species is. So I think there's big plans, and he's a genuinely great like character, very well written in terms of the comics and his cosmic threat. He's so powerful too, so you can tell so many different stories and have him interact with so many different characters. Like, do we all not want to see David Corn Sweat Superman interact with Lobo on the big screen? Like, we want that fight to happen. It's just see like the calamity, the brutality, like the destruction that would be caused. It would just be a treat for all of us movie fans. So I have no worries or doubts at all that we won't see Jason Momoa again. But I'm very curious to see him in Supergirl, see how he fares fighting Millie Alcock's Supergirl, and see what the future kind of holds for him and his story and what's next for him. Because it's such a cool, unique character with like a lot of history. He can go up against a lot of different people. And I truly do believe you're not going to cast Jason Momoa just in one like film. Like he's not going to have probably his own solo movie, but he will be probably featured in several movies throughout the DC universe as they progress on and on and on in this universe. So I'm excited to see that. And I'm excited to see what's next for Lobo. And I'm so happy to see him in the upcoming Supergirl movie that's going to be released this year within the DC universe. James Gunn recently posted a cryptic image of Chacos. Now, these aren't like just like those weird sandals from way back in the day. And you'd probably be forgiven if you're like, wait a minute, what the hell are these Oreo looking things? Why is James Gunn posting pictures of them and what does that have to do with the DC universe? Well, you'd be forgiven if you didn't know what Chacos are. Chacos, if you weren't aware, for all my people out there, they're a fictional cookie based in the DC universe off of Oreos, and they are the absolute favorite and weakness of a certain man named Martian Manhunter. He absolutely loves Chacos. And this is really interesting that James Gunn posted this because he's like, it could be like he could be playing around like he knows what he's doing. He knows people are going to speculate. Wait, Chacos, Martian Manhunter. There's definitely a connection there. Does this mean that we're getting a possible Martian Manhunter coming up? Is going to be appearing? It's just like so many different possibilities are out there for what this could mean. It's just another corporation that he's teasing in the DC universe. I think he's absolutely drawing a connection, and we as the audience have the right to say, wait a minute, Chacos, I think this has something to do with Martian Manhunter, and he could be upcoming in a new DC project. Like, could he be featured in Man of Tomorrow? If you go to the theater to watch Man of Tomorrow, would you be surprised if Martian Manhunter made like an appearance, a brief appearance, if that? Like, I necessarily wouldn't be like shocked about it, and especially with this Chaco like cryptic tweet that he's kind of put out there, like I'm starting to believe I could absolutely see Martian Manhunter. I mean, he is a founding member of the Justice League. He is kind of like a character within the DC realm that has not gotten a lot of like buzz and hype and on-screen presence and like be represented on the screen. So I could see James Gunn absolutely doing this. Like it wouldn't shock me at all. And I absolutely do believe because there's no reason just to bring Chacos in and post that stuff if you want fans to kind of speculate and if you want to bring it in. So I'm on board with the hey, we're gonna get Martian Manhunter in the coming years, whether it's gonna be in Man of Tomorrow or maybe like a Creature Commandos type of thing or something else. Like I truly do believe that we will see him within the next 2 years by Man of Tomorrow. And I'm all for it because Martian Manhunter is a cool character, hasn't got a lot of shine, but he's got unique powers, and he's also afraid of fire. So if there's ever a lighter and you're in a dark alley with Martian Manhunter, bring it out and you are good and safe. Now, before that's kind of off the beat, then I just want to bring that up because I thought it was interesting. But before we dive into some of the Marvel things, let's talk about something that I didn't think was going to happen, and that is Fast 11. And you'd be forgiven if you like, I thought I haven't even seen Fast 10, like a lot of people haven't seen that movie. Well, I have seen Fast 10. I didn't see Fast 9. I know what happens in it, and I watched Fast 10, and I thought it was a pretty good movie in terms of what those movies are in general. It's no Fast 7. I don't even think it's probably Fast 8. But Jason Momoa was the best part of that movie, and it's been a while now too. It's been years, and people have tried kind of speculated: are we going to actually ever get a follow up to Fast 10? Like, are they going to do it? There's been like things like they couldn't nail down the script, the budgets were just ballooning out of control, and they couldn't get those down wraps. Vin Diesel, like Eric, there's so much stuff around this film that people didn't think we were ever going to get a follow up to that kind of cliffhanger ending of Fast 10. And well, it looks like we are going to be getting that because apparently we now have a title for Fast 11 and a date, March of 2028, and it's called Fast Forever, a title I very much like. And there's like this, so this confirms that they've probably gotten several things in order. They probably nailed down the cast, and because they wanted to bring this one back to the streets of LA, they said, and I think doing that, bringing down the budget, so I think maybe kind of shrinking down some of the characters that we're going to see in this film, some of like the just wildly outlandish stunts and like things that happen within these movies. I don't think we'll get as much of those now in this next movie, but I'm excited for this. I'm glad they kind of nailed this down. I want to see the conclusion to this franchise. This has been going on since like what was the first Fast movie? Like early 2000s, 2001? Like I could be dead wrong with that number, but it's been like 20, it's easily 20 plus years. I know that. Like I want to see the conclusion of this franchise. I want to see family brought together again. Like I said, there's some of these movies that are just so outlandish for the things that they have done. Like the car in space really lost me. I'm like, you pushed it. I mean, and Vin Diesel called a freaking car in one of these movies. Like he's on a moving like 18 wheeler, I believe. Excuse me. And has like magnetic things that they kind of like Tyrese's character design. No, what's his Ludacris's character design, and the car like flips up and he just catches it like this. I was like, no, you kind of lost me there. I don't know about that. And then the car in space, I'm like, are you? Come on now, guys. Like, there are certain things that like believability is like pushing the boundaries. That one, those things just kind of, I'm like, all right, they're basically superheroes. Like Vin Diesel is actually a superhero in the Fast universe, and we kind of all just let it go, and we kind of just like watch these. But going back to this now, in Fast 10, I love Jason Momoa's character, and that movie ends on a cliffhanger where he like causes like we think the death and like the crash of a plane with several of Vin Diesel's character, his family members, like that he works with team on that plane. So we gotta figure out what happens next. And then the post credit scene is we tease that Jason Momoa finds out about the Rock's character. So like, is the Rock coming back? Like Tyrese and Ludacris, are they gonna be able to come back? And how are they gonna like shrink down the budgets for all the sets and like everything that's gonna happen in this movie? I'm genuinely curious. So that's why I'm excited to see Fast Forever. And like I said, that title is catchy. It reels me in. I want to see this movie now. And we have a date, we have a title, and now it's kind of the next thing is who's going to be coming back along with Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa, and what's the conclusion of this franchise that has spanned so long. I'm curious to see how they wrap it up, what they do to wrap it up, the story that they tell, the locations, the budgets. There's so many questions that I want to see answered, and I'm glad we got two of them now. Let's figure out the rest. I'm excited for Fast Forever. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Fast 11, Fast Forever? Do you think it's a good title? Are you going to see this movie? Did you see Fast 10? What are your thoughts on the overall Fast franchise? Do you think The Rock will come back? Whatever your questions are on that, comment and let me know down below. All right, let's dive into some Marvel news. And a couple of things that are kind of surprising for me, and then a review of Wonder Man, which is a show I love. So let's start with the trailers. It's come out now according to Deadline, and Deadline is a very reputable source in the entertainment industry that Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day will not be having trailers during Super Bowl Sunday. Now, that is surprising to me because if you've heard and listened to the show or any of the videos I've made recently, I've speculated that we're going to see one, if not both of those movies trailers during the Super Bowl at some point. It doesn't have to be halftime, but at some point we're going to see like a 30-second teaser and say full trailer available online now. There's they're saying that that's not going to happen. And the reasoning, and I kind of like, as I looked more into it and thought more about it, it makes a lot of sense because ad space is premium for the Super Bowl. And if you didn't know, it's probably between like $3 to $7 million, somewhere in that range for like putting an ad in a commercial during Super Bowl. Like it's insane. And so let's go for Spider-Man first, and then we'll kind of go to the Doomsday. Spider-Man, it kind of surprised me because Spider-Man comes out in July. Like we're 5 months away from that movie and really heard nothing. We've just seen all these great still images and shots and heard some things of characters are going to be in this movie, but no trailer yet. Kind of surprised me. But again, Spider-Man ultimately Spider-Man decisions are a Sony decision. They're not a Marvel Studios decision. They could be kind of like talking with each other and kind of deciding on a day, but ultimately the buck stops with Sony. But I do believe we're going to see that trailer this month. I think there's kind of been some reports that come out now recently that's saying, hey, they may not be a trailer at the Super Bowl, but expect imminently this month something to do with Spider-Man coming out. So I'm excited about that. And then they asked Tom Holland, and he's like, I don't know. He's very clear. I don't know when they're going to see it. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. So that all makes me believe that the reports are true, that we're going to see something very, very soon for this. Like they could easily just drop this trailer online the week leading up to the Super Bowl, or even like just on YouTube while the Super Bowl is happening. That way you don't have to pay for that premium ad space, and you still have it online. People are going to be on their phones during the Super Bowl, tweeting, looking at videos, talking to their friends, talking about the game. So it's going to be talked about, and people are going to see it. They're going to go watch it, and it's going to be massive. So that really doesn't bother me. It's just kind of surprised me at first. And I expect that trailer when it drops, it's going to be absolutely massive. We're going to see the suit. We're going to see maybe the Punisher, Hulk, all the people that we know. We'll get a genuine, like kind of a sense of what the story is going to be, because I have no clue what the story is going to be. I've avoided spoilers almost to a T for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I know really nothing except some of the characters that are going to appear. I don't know the villain. So when that first trailer drops, it will really give us a sense of what the story is going to be and how it's going to tie into the overall character and Peter and his journey now after the events of No Way Home, and him dealing with those repercussions. Who is Sadie Sink? How much is the Punisher and the Hulk going to be featured in this? And what is Peter doing now? Are we going to have a new love interest? All that stuff, all those questions will be answered, and I can't wait to have them answered eventually when this trailer drops. And I can't wait for this movie. I'm so excited for this one. But now we kind of pivot to Avengers Doomsday, and no Avengers Doomsday trailer, I feel makes even more sense now that I think about it compared to Spider-Man Brand New Day. Avengers Doomsday from this perspective. Doomsday is still 10 months away. They've dropped 4 little teaser trailers online, only online, have not been officially released to the public in terms of like on a TV show or anything while you're watching a movie. You're like all of a sudden the trailer starts playing. No, they've only been exclusively online through social media or in the theater if you went to watch Avatar. Over a billion views were generated from just those 4 teasers alone. And we haven't even seen RDJ or Doctor Doom and how he's going to look in that beautiful Doctor Doom armor. We haven't seen anything like that. So, with all that said, I kind of buy into and could see why we're not going to see an Avengers Doomsday trailer play at the Super Bowl. And like I said, we also can tie that into the money aspect. They don't need to pay $7 million, $5 million to drum up a 30-second, 1 minute trailer and have the full thing say full trailer available online now to generate buzz and conversation, and then be lost in the news cycle of all the stuff happening with all the other trailers that are dropping and the Super Bowl commentary and everything with that. They don't. Marvel doesn't need to do that. They can wait after the Super Bowl. They can release one before the game starts in the weeks prior, like the weeks after and following the Super Bowl. They don't need to release one there, and it makes total sense now too with the marketing campaign and how they're going to do their rollout for this. I think it's going to be heavy, like with the Russos posting cryptic things, doing these little interviews, saying different things, and then dropping these pictures here and there, and then, bam, Avengers Doomsday trailer officially online now with like a look at RDJ. Like they could just drop an image of like Doom's mask, like something similar like that, and say, "New look at Doctor Doom." People are gonna talk about that, create videos, content for weeks on that. And when that first Doomsday trailer does drop, it has to be a spectacle in terms of people are going to talk about, it, going to theorize, they're going to speculate, they're going to make tons and tons of videos just dissecting it. All like the new rock stars and like everyone on the YouTube space is going to just have hours of content about that. And Marvel is going to eat it all up. They're going to enjoy every little bit of that because, like I said, when that first official Doomsday trailer drops and we have our first look at Doctor Doom doing whatever it is that Doom is going to be doing in Avengers Doomsday that's going to be epic, it's going to break the internet. People are going to be talking about it everywhere. It's going to be the most viewed trailer of all time. Mark my words on that. It will absolutely break Deadpool and Wolverine's record in that regard. So I cannot wait for that, and I think it makes sense why we won't see that movie trailer like at the Super Bowl. I have no doubt that it's going to be massive, and they don't need to play it there to be honest, because like I said, it's 10 months away. They don't need to pay the $8, $7, $8, $5 million, whatever it may be, to like the trailer, because the amount of like hype for it is and like anticipation when they do it. Available on YouTube now. So all you gotta do, drop exclusively on YouTube, Instagram. Hey, people are going to go watch that, and it's going to be massive. So I have no like qualms with them at all for not doing that. It makes sense. I'm just anticipating it even more now because people were speculating they're going to get it. Now they're here, they're not. They're yearning for it even more. Think about it. They're creating more buzz and more talk and more people wanting that trailer. So it's going to be big when it does happen. But what do you guys think? Are you guys sad that we're not going to be seeing Spider-Man or Avengers Doomsday at a Super Bowl? Do you think this report by Deadline, who is reputable, is true that we're not? Or do you think we will see one? What are your thoughts? And let me know your comments down below. All right, some water right quick. Let's now dive into Wonder Man. First off, right off the bat, spoilers for Wonder Man ahead. So if you haven't seen Wonder Man, go away, share the video with someone who has, and then come back and watch this part of the video now. I loved Wonder Man. I thought it was a great series, and it's largely contained to itself. There's really no prior knowledge needed to see Wonder Man. Maybe Iron Man, like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, or even just Iron Man 3 to know who the Mandarin is, but I mean, not really. It's still kind of explained as the series goes. And Marvel dropped all the episodes at once. I like the weekly drop, but I mean, I get why. I mean, it is what it is right now for this show, and it worked for me. It just absolutely worked. Yahya Abdul Mateen is awesome. I loved him. He was great in Watchmen. He was a great Black Manta in the Aquaman show or movies. So I had no qualms with him coming in this. I knew he was going to kill it, and he absolutely killed it as Simon Williams Wonder Man. But the real MVP, the unsung hero, is Trevor Slattery and their dynamic between the two of them. Their chemistry was off the charts and is what made this show work to a T. It was great. Their portrayal with the plights of struggling actors and like Yaya's especially was phenomenal. I thought he was excellent with everything. The emotional beats were nailed. His struggles as an actor, like he's a talented actor who can't get out of his own way a lot of times. He gets in his head too much. He's thinking too much. We all can relate to that in terms of being on the job. We know know how to do it, but then we kind of dive in, think too much, want to go over, above, and beyond, and it kind of like detracts. And he has no real friends. Then he meets Trevor, and we as the audience are introduced to Trevor early on. He's working with the DODC on a deal to kind of gather intel for Agent Cleary on Wonderman on Simon Williams because they think Simon is a meta human, or like I should say he's a mutant. He's a mutant. Like they kind of like dance around it. They're not gonna say that, but they believe he's a mutant. He has superhuman abilities, and Cleary wants evidence from Trevor on Simon. So Trevor goes into like the acting. He goes into the audition for Wonder Man with Simon. Simon hears about it, and they kind of meet and have that budding forming relationship. We as the audience, we know Trevor is supposed to betray Simon and report back to Cleary in the DODC. And every chance that Trevor has to do so, he doesn't. And that he starts to endear himself to Simon more and more and more. Like I can't emphasize enough the dynamic between the two of them. It's great. It makes the show work. The Doorman episode was great too. Like what a different episode from Marvel Studios. Just what a phenomenally just differently done episode for what they did within that show. Like Doorman is now canon in the MCU, which is just a wild thing. Josh Gad, like the episode was just like so different from the show too, and didn't detract. It made the show work too. That you kind of understand like these people with superhuman abilities, how they still have to be real world people. They're not all gonna be heroes. What are they gonna do now too? Like I loved that aspect of it. And then Simon, when he done eventually does, he's trying to control these impulses, like he wants to burst out and then eventually it comes to his head, and Trevor kind of like when they're being followed around by this reporter, and they say, "Didn't you?" Like the reporter asked Trevor, "I want to focus on you. You like broke out of prison. What have you been doing? You came in 3 months ago. You're arrested. People think you're a terrorist." And just a side note, quickly, whenever someone in the MCU sees Trevor and they're like, "Aren't you a terrorist? Aren't you the Mandarin?" Like it just cracks me up every time because that would be your reaction if you see him walking on the street like that guy's a terrorist. He attacked Iron Man's house and like blew it up and sunk into like the ocean. Like what the hell? And so like when she's questioning Trevor and Yaya like Simon looks at him and is like, wait, and then he's like, did you been lying to me, Trevor? What's going on? And then Trevor informs him, and then yeah, he goes off on his own, and like Simon just blows up, like releases all this ionic energy on like the studio set and just blows up one of the studios when no one's around. That alerts Cleary. All the DODC, they're on his ass, like it's very emotional too because we felt the betrayal too, even though that we knew that Trevor didn't want to do it. He kind of like came out, and we were kind of hurt for Simon in that matter because Simon didn't have any friends. His family, like the relationship with his mom is great, but then his brother, like it everything worked in this show. So Trevor eventually takes the blame for that explosion, and an awesome moment. He puts on his old Mandarin garb and releases a video, and he steps into that role like not a beat was missed, and you never saw it coming. Like I love that so much. That was such a great scene for him to do it, and it's like we feel for Trevor too because we know that he didn't want to rat out Simon. He didn't want to do it, and then he covers for Simon, takes the blame. So he's taking the DODC custody, and clearly all alone he knows like he's like this was just he did this. We know Trevor. You didn't. We like you're covering for him. Essentially, so what it is. So Simon eventually goes. They film the Wonder Man movie. Again, a funny moment. Trevor is replaced by Joe Pantoliano, who has a relationship with Trevor that he took a role from Trevor early on in his career that pays off all the way back in his final episode now because he was replaced. So with Joe, the movie is a smashing hit. Simon Williams is a actor in the biggest sense that he's a movie star. He's a superhero within the realm. People are loving him and the adulation that he's getting. But he misses his best friend, Trevor. So he befriends a DODC agent and tells him that they're making a movie about his life, and he like learns I need to follow you at work. So he goes into the DODC headquarters, impersonating an undercover agent. Goes in there and he confronts Trevor, and he's like, "I'm here to bust you out." And Trevor has a very funny moment. He's like, "Who replaced me?" And he's like, "It's like it's Joe, wasn't it?" And so that's a very funny moment. But then Simon breaks him out. He's like, "Because you're my friend, and you cover it for me, and you don't belong here. Let's get out." And Simon can fly. He flies him out, and he breaks him out. And the final shot is Cleary just looking up in the hole. And it's a very funny moment because Cleary, you can tell in his face, he's like, "I fucking knew it. I knew that guy was a metahuman from the very beginning. So what a great show. I love this series. It was phenomenally well done. Wonder Man was an absolute Wonder Man for me now probably would be on the verge of being top 5 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in terms of shows and series that they've done. Like one for me is Loki. I think Loki is phenomenal. I think it's well done. The final 2 episodes of those seasons, of season 1 and season 2, were exceptional. Like season 2, like when we're getting like God King Loki, which puts like it's phenomenal. So Loki is one for me. Then I have X-Men 97. I would probably say WandaVision is up there in the top 5. Daredevil Born Again was up there as well. What else would I have there? I'm probably missing off the top of my head. I would say Wonder Man could like Wonder Man, Moon Knight. I think Wonder Man's above Moon Knight. I loved Moon Knight, but then that last episode I took it off of me. So I think it's like between Wonder Man, Agatha, and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for like they're all in contention for that 5 spot. Probably with 4 in Daredevil because all those shows are kind of right there for like 4 and 5. But I would say it's probably Loki, X-Men 97 are the clear top 2. WandaVision's number 3, Daredevil, and then Wonder Man or your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man would be that 5 spot. But I love the show. I think it's a great show. I think you should go watch it now if you're an MCU fan. If you're just a movie fan, you'll really like the show because it's a peek behind the curtain too of like the actors struggling in Hollywood and kind of how it really works out and how that like that world kind of unfolds and the struggling plight of those people too. So it's very well done. Go watch Wonder Man right now on Disney Plus. You won't regret it. You don't need to be like a MCU historian to kind of enjoy the show. So go watch it now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you watched it, if you like the series, and if you haven't, go watch it now, give it a try, and then come back and let me know your thoughts. And that can kind of conclude our movie news for today. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to Cape Commentary. I will see you guys here next Tuesday on the show at 3 p.m. for another episode. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. I will see you guys in the movie theaters. Peace.